Okay, let's try this example. Here they want us to determine the formal charge for each of the atoms in the molecule that's shown. When I go ahead and solve for the formal charge, I like to look at how many valence electrons each atom should have around it and subtract the number of valence electrons that atom can claim as its very own. For example, hydrogen. Hydrogen is supposed to have one valence electron. Now remember, in any single bond, let me go ahead and highlight this hydrogen. In any single bond, only one of the electrons in the bond comes from that atom. Only one of those electrons, let's say that there's two in this bond and that this is my carbon right here. Only one in that bond came from the hydrogen and belongs to the hydrogen. One valence electron minus the one that it gets to claim as its own gives us a zero formal charge for this hydrogen. Now this hydrogen is exactly the same. When we look at this hydrogen, there's supposed to be one valence electron minus the one valence electron in that bond that belongs to the hydrogen. That gives us zero formal charge for that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at carbon. Carbon is supposed to have 4 valence electrons. Now, how many electrons are surrounding it that belong to the carbon? Here's one in this bond, one in the second bond with hydrogen, and one in each of those shared bonds. Carbon, supposed to have 4, it has 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 minus 4 gives us 0 formal charge for our carbon. Let's do our next carbon. As for the next carbon, I'm going to go ahead and highlight that in a teal color. That carbon is supposed to have 4 valence electrons. How many are surrounding it right now? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 in each shared pair. 4 minus 4 is also 0 formal charge. And by the way, 0 formal charge is a really good thing to have. Now let's go ahead finally and do our nitrogen. When we go ahead and do our nitrogen here, I'm going to go ahead and outline it. Your nitrogen is supposed to have 5 valence electrons. Well, how many right now are around the nitrogen that belong to the nitrogen? Each of the lone pairs belong to nitrogen. 1, 2, 3, 4, but only half of each bond. 5, 6. 5 minus 6 means I was only supposed to have 5 valence electrons around it, but I have 6 valence electrons around it. That's a little electron rich here. This is a -1 formal charge, which means overall 0, 0, 0, -1, this molecule right here should have a negative charge overall. This should be an ion. I'm going to go ahead and add that right now to my picture because all of your individual formal charges will add up to the charge of your molecule. I hope that helps. Take care.